Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Anne Kelly from the radio, and I'd like to tell you all a Christmas story. Once upon a time on Christmas Eve, old Ebenezer Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. It was cold, bleak, biting weather. The fog came pouring in at every chink and keyhole, and was so dense outdoors you could hardly see the houses. Suddenly, Scrooge's nephew Fred entered the room, so quickly that Scrooge hardly noticed his approach.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah, humbug.
Christmas? A humbug? Uncle, you don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Come then. What right have you to be dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough.
Bah, humbug.
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in a world of such fools as this? Merry Christmas. Out upon Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older but not an hour richer?
Uncle!
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it.
Let me alone then. Much good may it do you, much good has it ever done you.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come dine with us tomorrow.
Every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart, he should.
But why? Why?
Why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Because you fell in love. Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why cannot we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I am sorry, with all my heart, to find you so resolute. I have made my way here every year in homage to Christmas, and I will keep my Christmas humour to the last. So, a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
His nephew left the room without an angry word, but as he left, two different people came in. They had books and papers in their hands and bowed to him.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley died 7 years ago this very night.
We have no doubt his liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and the destitute, who suffer greatly at the present time.
Are there no prisons?
Oh, plenty of prisons.
And the union workhouses, are they still in operation?
They are, though I wish I could say they were not.
The treadmill and the poor law are still in full vigour then?
Both very busy, sir.
Oh, I was afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course. I'm very glad to hear it.
Well, sir, a few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink, and means of warmth. What shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. Since you ask me what I wish, gentlemen, that is my answer. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry.
Many can't go there, and many would rather die.
If they had rather die, they had better do it. Decrease the surplus population. It's not my business. It's enough for a man to understand his own business and not to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Seeing it would be useless to pursue their point, the gentlemen withdrew. The day passed, and at last it was time to shut up the counting house. Scrooge grumpily left the desk and spoke to his assistant, Bob Cratchit, who instantly snuffed out his candle and put on his hat.
You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
If quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I was to stop half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used, I'll be bound. And yet you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's but once a year, Mr. Scrooge.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you must have the whole day, be here all the earlier the next morning.
Scrooge walked out with a growl and made his way to his chambers. Chambers which had once belonged to his deceased partner, Jacob Marley. They were a gloomy set of rooms, old and dreary, for nobody lived there but Scrooge. He put on his dressing gown and his slippers and sat down before the fire to take his gruel. And as he threw his head back in the chair, Scrooge heard a clanking noise like heavy chains scraping across the floor. The cellar door flew open with a booming sound, and then he heard the noise much louder, coming up the stairs and then coming straight towards his door.
It's humbug still. I won't believe it.
He was wrong not to believe it, though, for the body of his dead partner, Jacob Marley, floated through the door before Scrooge's two eyes.
Here now, what do you want with me?
Much.
Who were you then?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
But you sound American now. I don't believe it.
I am Jacob Marley. Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. Yesterday's lunch was especially poor quality. You may be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a suggestion of horseradish, a crumb of cheese, a bit of broccoli, a fragment of underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave about you, whatever you are. Humbug, I tell you. Humbug.
Pull yourself together, man. Do you believe in me or not?
Yes, I do. I must. But why do spirits come to me? Tell me why.
I wear the chain forged by living. I made it link by link with my own actions in life. I have had no rest and no peace since my demise.
Oh, poor Jacob.
Do you know the weight of the chain you wear? It was as long as this, 7 Christmas Eves ago. And you have grown it much since.
Old Jacob Marley, speak comfort to me.
I can offer no comfort. That must come from others. Ebenezer Scrooge, now hear me. My time is nearly gone.
I hear you, but don't be hard on me. Don't be flowery, Jacob, pray.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits. Without them, you cannot hope to shun the path that I tread. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take 'em all at once and have it over, Jacob? That'll be a no then. Please continue.
Expect the second the next night at the same hour, and the third upon the next night as the last stroke of 12. We shall not meet again. For your own sake, remember what has passed between us.
Scrooge went to say humbug, but thought better of it. With a worried face, he retired for the night. The next thing he knew, the lights came on in the room, and the curtains of his bed were drawn. Scrooge found himself face to face with an unearthly visitor. Wiggy, stop it!
Are you the spirit? The one whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
It's me, the ghost of Christmas past. Blimey, you're a nasty one, ain't you? Well, let's take a trip into your past, Ebenezer Scrooge. Take heed. Do you know this doorway?
Know it? I was apprenticed here.
Inside was a hive of activity. A jolly old man was addressing his employees, and the whole place was lit up.
Yo ho, my boys. No more work tonight. It's Christmas, Ebenezer.
Oh, why, it's old Fezziwig. Bless his heart. It's Fezziwig alive again.
Yes, but he cannot see you. These are events that have already happened. Do you know this young fellow?
It's me, Ebenezer Scrooge, back when I was an apprentice.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Fezziwig. This is going to be the best party ever.
Some musicians came in to play a merry jig, followed by Mrs. Fezziwig, who was even jollier than her husband.
It's Christmas. Come on, everyone. Let's dance.
There was dancing, and there was cake, and there was negus. Negus, hang on. My phone is telling me negus is a hot drink made with port, sugar, lemon, and spice. Okay. And there was a lot of that, and mince pies and beer.
Now you make sure you eat all those mince pies and drink all that beer, mind.
During the whole of this time, Scrooge remembered how his former self felt that night. He enjoyed himself and underwent the strangest agitation.
Merry Christmas to one and all. I hope you all remember to keep Christmas merry in all future years. Yes, all of you. Even you, young Ebenezer.
Scrooge turned and saw the ghost watching him.
It was a small matter to make these silly folks full of gratitude. He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money. 3 or 4 perhaps.
The happiness he gives, it is as great as if it had cost a fortune.
Hey, I just realised. What we saw is the opposite of what you did with Bob Cratchit. You didn't even let him put coal on the fire.
It's true. I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk just now.
Well, you can't. We're too busy looking at your past. Like this.
Again, Scrooge saw himself. He was older now, a man in the prime of his life, but his face had begun to wear the signs of care and avarice, with a greedy, restless look in his eye.
I'm not going to beat around the bush, Scrooge. You like money more than you like me.
This was Belle, the only woman Scrooge had ever loved, and whose previous appearance in this story was edited out for time.
Still, if you prefer those piles of money to me, you can both just shack up together. I'm just fine with that. Hope it makes you happy.
This is the even-handed dealing of the world. There is nothing so hard in it as poverty, and there is nothing it professes to condemn with such severity as the pursuit of wealth.
Oh, Scroogey, baby. You were so frightened by being poor. You pursued money at the cost of everything in your life. One day, you'll think of our relationship as an unprofitable dream from which you happen to have awoke. Now I release you. May you be happy in the life that you have chosen.
Spirit, remove me from this place.
I told you these were shadows of the things that have been. They are what they are. Don't blame me, Scroogey baby.
Leave me. Take me back. Haunt me no longer.
Well, I guess we're done here.
The ghost clicked their fingers one more time, and the world spun and faded away. The next thing Scrooge knew, he was back in his present-day chambers, and a bell was ringing. He followed the sound, and soon his gaze fell upon another ghost, the ghost of Christmas Present.
I am the ghost of Christmas Present. Look upon me.
Another spirit.
That's right. You have never seen the likes of me before.
Never. Conduct me where you will, spirit. I learned a lesson last night. Tonight. If you have aught to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe.
Scrooge did as he was told, and the room vanished. Another room appeared, and it was a room in Bob Cratchit's dwelling.
Family, it's time for our traditional Christmas dinner.
Up rose Emily Cratchit, Bob's wife, dressed out but poorly in a twice-turned gown, but brave in ribbons. 3 of the Cratchit children came tearing in and tucked into the boiled potatoes.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Then in came Bob Cratchit, his threadbare clothes darned up and brushed, with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder. Poor Tiny Tim bore a little crutch and had his limbs supported by an iron frame.
And how did little Tim behave at church today?
Oh, as good as gold and better. He told me he hoped the people saw him in the church because he was a cripple, and it might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day, he who made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Ah, good old Tiny Tim. He's so great, isn't he?
Hey, here he is. A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
Even little Tiny Tim joined in.
God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No, no, oh no, kind spirit, say we'll be spared.
But the spirit said nothing. Instead, Scrooge and the spirit went along the streets. The brightness of the roaring fires in the kitchens and parlours and all sorts of rooms was wonderful. It was a great surprise to Scrooge to hear a hearty laugh. He recognized it as Fred, his nephew. They were in a bright, dry, clean room, with the spirit standing smiling by his side and looking at that same nephew with approving affability.
He said that Christmas was a humbug, as I live, and he believed it too.
More shame for him, Fred. I have no patience with that man.
Oh, I have. I feel sorry for him. Who suffers from his ill whims? Himself. Always. I mean, to give him the same chance, year after year, whether he likes it or not. He can rail at Christmas till he dies, but he can't help thinking better of it. And that's something. I think I shook him yesterday. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man. Whatever it is, he wouldn't take it from me, but may he have it nevertheless. To Uncle Scrooge. We must away, or this movie will become too long.
Am I in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come? You are about to show me the shadows of things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit? Lead on. The night is waning fast, and it's precious time to me, I know. Lead on, Spirit.
I'm so sad that my son, Tiny Tim, has died. I really thought he was going to pull through, but we just couldn't afford to keep the house warm.
I am equally as sad, Bob. If you ask me, this is all Ebenezer Scrooge's fault.
Ebenezer Scrooge was whooshed away once again and found himself in a dark churchyard.
Before I draw nearer to that stone to which you point, answer me one question. Are these shadows of things that will be, or are they shadows of what may be only?
So Scrooge looked at the ghost's outstretched hand. He followed the finger down and read upon the stone of this neglected grave his own name, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Oh no, no, Spirit. No, no. Spirit, hear me. I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I would be but for this intercourse. Why show me this if I am past all hope? Good Spirit, assure me that I may yet change these shadows that you have shown me by an altered life. I will honour Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all year. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Oh, tell me, Spirit, I may sponge away the writing on this stone.
Scrooge came back to his senses. He was back in his own room. The bedpost was his own. The bed was his own. The room was his own. And best and happiest of all, the time before him was his own, to make amends in.
I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three strive within me. Oh, Jacob Marley, heaven and the Christmas time be praised for this. The shadows of the things that would have been may be dispelled. They will be. I know they will be.
His hands were busy with his garments all this time, turning them inside out, putting them on, upside down, inside out, tearing them, mislaying them.
Oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, I'm as light as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. I'm as giddy as a drunken man. Oh, a Merry Christmas to everybody. A Happy New Year to all the world. Oh, hello there. Oh, woo, woo. Oh, hello. Oh. There's the door by which the ghost of Jacob Marley entered, and there's the corner where the ghost of Christmas present sat. It's all right, it's all true, it all happened.
Really, for a man whose laughing had been out of practice for so many years, it was a splendid laugh, a most illustrious laugh, the father of a long line of brilliant laughs.
I don't know what month it is. I don't know how long I've been with the spirits. I don't know anything. I'm quite a baby. Oh, never mind. I don't care. I'd rather be a baby. Oh, hello. Oh, hello there. Oh. You boy, what day is this?
Hey!
What's today, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
Oh, it's Christmas Day. It's Christmas Day. I haven't missed it. Oh, the spirits have done it all in one night. Oh, of course they have. They can do anything. Oh, wonderful. They can do anything. Of course they can. Hello, my fine fellow.
Hello again.
Do you know the poulterer is in the next street but one, at the corner?
I should hope I do, Governor.
Oh, an intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Do you know whether they've sold that prize turkey? Not the little one, the big one.
What, the one as big as me?
Oh, what a delightful boy. What a pleasure to talk to him. Yes, my buck.
It's hanging in there now.
It is? Go and buy it. Go and buy it and tell him to bring it here. Oh, come back with the man and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown.
The boy ran off as fast as his 2 legs could carry him.
I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's. He'll never know it's me. Oh, it's as big as Tiny Tim, twice the size of Tiny Tim. Oh, he'll be so funny. Joe Miller never made such a joke as sending that turkey to Bob Cratchit's.
Hello? Did somebody order a massive turkey?
Massive turkey? Hello, yes, Merry Christmas. Why, it's impossible to carry that turkey all the way to Camden Town. You must have a cab.
Scrooge chuckled heartily as he paid for the massive turkey and the normal-sized can. He kept up his chuckling as he made his way indoors, whereupon he sat down breathless in his chair and chuckled until he cried. Later, he dressed in his finest clothes and went back out into the street. The people were pouring forth, and Scrooge regarded every one of them with a delighted smile. He had not gone very far when he happened upon the gentleman who had walked into his counting house in Act 1.
Oh, my dear sir, how do you do? I hope you succeeded yesterday in your collections. It was very kind of you. A Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, that is my name, and I fear it may not be pleasant to you. Allow me to ask for your pardon, and will you have the goodness...
God blimey, I never seen so big a number in all my days. Are you actually for real?
I am, and I will not offer a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I can assure you. Will you do me that favour?
My dear sir, I don't know what to say to such munificent...
Don't say anything, please. Just come and see me, that I can be of further aid. Will you come and see me?
I will. I will.
Thank you. I am much obliged to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you.
Scrooge went to church and walked about the streets, and he watched the people hurrying to and fro, and he found that everything could yield him pleasure. He had never dreamed that any walk could give him so much happiness. In the afternoon, he turned his steps towards his nephew's house. It took a minute to build up the courage and knock, and finally he did.
Is your master at home, my dear?
Why, yes, sir.
Where is he, my love?
He's in the dining room, sir, along with mistress. I'll show you upstairs, if you please.
Thank you. He knows me. I'll let myself in, dear.
Right you are, squire.
Fred was quietly enjoying a Christmas drink, not expecting any visitors.
Why, bless my soul. Why, bless my soul. Who's there?
It is I, your Uncle Scrooge. I have seen the error of my ways, and I have come to dinner. Will you let me in, Fred?
Fred almost shook Scrooge's arm off. He was so happy to see his uncle for Christmas. Fred was soon joined by his family, and Scrooge was the life and soul of their party. But eventually the night came to an end, and Scrooge made sure he was first at the office the next morning. He wanted to be there before Bob Cratchit, and he was. In fact, Bob was a full 15 minutes late. Bob shuffled in and got straight to work as if he was trying to make up for lost time.
Hello. What do you mean coming in here this time of day? Step this way, Cratchit.
It's only once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather many yesterday, sir.
Now, I'll tell you what, my friend. I'm not going to stand for any of this any longer, and therefore, I am about to raise your salary. Yes, a Merry Christmas, Bob. A merrier Christmas than I have wished ye in many a year. I'll raise your salary and endeavour to assist your struggling family, and we will discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop. Make up the fires and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he became a second father. He became as good a man as the good old city ever knew, or even the whole good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh, and gave them no heed. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. He had no further intercourse with spirits, and ever afterwards it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that truly be said of us, and of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, every one.
We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings to you wherever you are. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Please bring us some figgy pudding. Please bring us some figgy pudding. Please bring us some figgy pudding and a cup of good cheer. Good tidings to you wherever you are. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. Please bring some out here. We wish you a Merry Christmas.